Okay, so I'm out here in Lake Ontario jigging for lake trout, and they haven't been easy this morning, but they seem to have turned on. I caught 2 in a row just now. There's lots of fish under the boat, and I'm hoping I can videotape myself hooking and landing one on camera. Earlier today I hooked a laker that it was so big and heavy it scared me, and I fought it for a long time, got it to the surface. The hook pulled out once it got to the top, and I never got a look at him. He was a good 100 feet from the boat when he shook me off, but I got to play him for at least 15 minutes. So that's what keeps you coming back. I got a nearly perfect wind. It's just a faint breeze. It's blowing parallel to the shoreline, so I can stay in my depth for a real long time. Oh, just got a strike. Well, I've come to the end of my drift. I'm going to pull up the drift bag and motor in and have another pass through them all. Here we are at the head of the drift, and the screen is lit up. I got 2 drift bags out, so I can take it nice and slow through here. Really show those fish what I have. So I'm really not seeing any bait today. I'm accustomed to just seeing clouds of bait all through the area where the fish hang out. That's just not the case this year. From everything I hear, there's just not a lot of bait fish in the lake this year, and you'd think that would make them hungry, but I have not found the fish to be pushovers today. But what often happens is you'll be among the fish, you won't be getting any strikes, you just stay with them, and all of a sudden they turn on, and you're just catching them left and right. I see that all the time, and it could be morning, it could be midday, it could be afternoon. There's just no telling when they'll turn on, so you just have to keep at them. Big fat blip right under the boat. Let's see if I can entice them. When I'm dropping the jig, I can see the blips under me, and I can often see my jig under me, and I can see the blips moving towards my jig. And that gets really exciting. You can anticipate a strike very often. But you will get way more looks than you will strikes. I mean, almost every drop in the vicinity of a fish, they will come up and look at it. But you have to tease them and play with them to get them to actually bite. I'm just tickled that it's so calm out here, because I've got a small 16-foot boat, and very often I just can't launch. Oh, there's one! There's one! Yeah! Oh, he came off. I've been getting a lot of those. There's still a lot more on the bottom right now. If you have a group of them down there, several fish, they'll get in a competitive race. Oh, I broke it off. Would you look at that? I'm using light line, and that's the danger of fishing with light line. And if you catch a few, the line will fray. That's disappointing though, because I've had to work very hard getting what strikes I got. I've been fishing with 10-pound line. I have a 10-pound braid and a 10-pound leader, and the light line will help you catch leader-shy fish, and it also makes it very sporting. You know, lake trout is something that people complain that they don't fight very much, but I'm using basically bass tackle, you know, stuff designed for largemouth bass, and you hook a 15-pound lake trout on something that's designed for 3-pound bass, and you'll have a fight on your hands. But I'm thinking of going up to 12 or maybe even 15. Oh, just had a strike. They'll tease you. They'll play with you. And I'm thinking of going up to 12 or 15 pound line just so, because when I hang these big ones, and in Lake Ontario they got a few of those. You know, I can put the boots to them a little bit more than usual. Here's a quick rundown of the tackle I'm using. Start with the reel is an Abu Garcia Ambassador. Best jigging reel there is, and if you're like me, you look through yard sales for these. You can find them everywhere, flea markets and stuff. The rod is a 7-foot long, medium heavy action, and the jig is a 1.5 ounce round head. Me and a friend of mine poured these ourselves just so we could get the best quality hooks we could find. A lot of the store-bought ones have cheap hooks that bend and rust and all that. The jig bodies, are really any plastic body will work. I'm partial to the twister tail, but the shad bodies work, the flukes, the squids, they all work. White is a pretty safe bet. Sometimes the chartreuse work, or the more natural colored ones. I've taken to putting a small dodger in front of the jig, just like 2 feet above the jig. This one here is about 5 inches long, and it just kind of draws them into it, I find. A little unconventional, but hey, whatever works. Very active screen down there. Let's see what we get with this drop. The wind had been blowing me out deeper. The wind's going to change throughout the day. Right now it seems to be blowing me in shallower. So I kind of wish I started my drift deeper than I did. But for the time being, there's fish below me, so I might as well work on them. And here they are coming to look at it. One of the hardest things is trying to figure out what kind of action they want on the lure. Do they want big sweeps of your arm? Do they want little twitches? Do they want a slow crank? You have to let them tell you. Oh yes! Got a good hook set on him too. Now we got to see if there's enough battery in that camera to show you the entire fight. I'll try to land him quickly, but these guys don't come in all that fast. You don't get sizzling runs or dazzling jumps with Lakers. What you get are big head shakes, and you get a standoff where it just won't budge off the bottom, and then you gain some line on them, and then they decide to just turn right back for the bottom, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. I sure would like to land this fish and get it on film before the battery runs out. Probably halfway up by now. I can see them. Got some color down there. Not a bad fish. Ah, yes. Ha ha. That right there is about an average size Laker you get.